Hello all, welcome to Transfermarkt YouTube channel. Today I have two very important guests and we are going to talk about Turkish Super League this season so far. And here are my guests are Comparisonator football data comparison platform CEO Tarkan Batgun will describe us the best performances and the best coaches in Turkish Super League, and Transfermarkt Turkey chief Gokhan Yagmur will describe us the players' performance value challenges over the season. First of all, before we talk about the performances and values, let's find out how this information is determined. My first question is to Gokhan Yagmur, very briefly. How are Transfermarkt values determined?
This question is not so to answer so easy. We have a lot of factors which we have to describe for the value, and that's like, the factors are like age, also performance, of course. Where did the player play, in which league, in which club, in which competition? All these factors are playing together, and then we have to create then this value for him with all these factors. This is a process which costs every market value admin 2 or 3 weeks.
And before we announce the best 11 of Turkiye Super League, Tarkan Batgun, very briefly, how is Comparisonator determining the best players?
Well, Comparisonator platform includes roughly around 500 parameters. So goals, assists, or offensive, all these actions come together and joins with the very famous artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence unit has been formed over the last 3 years period, going through more than 90 parameters each week. And this actually has been determined from if you consider the last 3 years. So the entire 3-year machine learning cycle completed, each week in and out, all the players actually defined with different points. It's again decided via the artificial intelligence, and this artificial intelligence decides the player level, not only a particular country, but it has different weight. Well, the minutes players taken, the actions, the amount of actions, and many other things, which is about 85 parameters. Then each week, entire league goes through a number crunch to find out the best performances. So as a result, this artificially intelligent Comparisonator best 11 is formed, considering all around the world, and all league best 11s are basically ready at the end of each week.
So Tarkan, can you please share us the best 11 of Turkiye Super League this season so far, so we can talk about all these players?
Ertaç Özbir is number 1, is the goalkeeper. Best goalkeeper of Comparisonator artificially intelligent 11. Leo Duarte is the center back. Başakşehir FK. Abdülkerim Bardakçı, Galatasaray. Left back, Ferdi Kadıoğlu, Fenerbahçe. Sacha Boey on the right from Galatasaray. Now, after a long wait, I'm very happy to see Salih Uçan as the number 6 to 8 position. Bakasetas, Trabzonspor on the left, on the right, Sergio Oliveira, Galatasaray, and the forward players, Enner Valencia from Fenerbahçe, Mauro Icardi from Galatasaray, and Fabio Borini from Fatih Karagümrük.
So, dear Gokhan, I'm going to ask you, when these values are determined, when is the last value changes has been announced by Transfermarkt?
The last one is now, before several days. At least the Bundesliga, the German Bundesliga, is tomorrow, and it's the last one from the big leagues. So it's very fresh.
Very fresh. Okay, so let's start with Ertaç Özbir. I know Gokhan likes Ertaç Özbir's performance this season, so he's very happy to see him as a best goalkeeper.
Well, Adana Demirspor goalkeeper, firstly, average Comparisonator main index is number 1 goalkeeper. He's number 1 in total shots saved, and total mid-distance shots on target saved also is number 1, and percentage of shots saved is number 2 with 79% in the Turkish Super League, determined by the Comparisonator artificial intelligence.
So, Gokhan Yagmur, Ertaç Özbir's Transfermarkt value is 700k euros. So what does it mean?
Ertaç is a great goalkeeper. As you said, I like him a lot. But if we look at his age, he's 33. So if someone begins to show his performance with this kind of age, you can't go so high with his value. You have to look where can he stand with his value at this age, and you have don't forget he plays at Adana Demirspor. This is a Super League club, like I think fifth or sixth in the tableau. So yeah, you have to look internationally where can he stand, and so I think he never could get over the 1 million mark. So we decided to set him on 700 because of the good performance, but because of his age, we can't go over 1 million like this.
So Tarkan Batgun, we saw very good center back performances this season in Turkish Super League. Leo Duarte and Abdülkerim Bardakçı are two best center back in Comparisonator best 11 this season so far. But Abdülkerim Bardakçı looks like one step ahead of Leo Duarte with his Galatasaray transfer and all. So can you please let us know what Abdülkerim Bardakçı did in Galatasaray?
Well, he's number one dribbler in the final third of the pitch and makes him fairly offensive. Average per 90 minutes, 0.5 actions in dribbling. Air challenges, 1 in defensive, and he does this 4 times. Playing in scoring attacks amongst the center backs, 0.41 is number 2 here, and successful defensive challenges, 7.75 actions average per 90 minutes, and he's number 3rd. So he's a fairly offensive center back. You would always see him in the box in offensive actions, but also successful defensive challenges is pretty good.
So Gokhan, Leo Duarte is 3.2 million euros and Abdülkerim Bardakçı is 5.5 million euros. So what does Abdülkerim Bardakçı's Transfermarkt value mean?
Yeah, what does it mean? After a difficult start from Bardakçı, he do very well in this season, but his market value goes high carefully. The reason is if you look at his fee, his transfer fee comes for 2.8 million from Konyaspor, and as you know, this is much less than he has value. So we go very high, very carefully, because his highest value since this update was 5 million. And so we thought about it and said, okay, he had a very high performance, so we can go a little bit up for his record from 5 million and say, let's look what he can do at least until the end from the season. And then we look if he could go a little bit higher, but to see a 10 million mark is very difficult by him because he just played in the Super League all his career. This is very difficult to make this big step.
So Tarkan Batgun, we have very good fullbacks on this best 11, but Ferdi Kadıoğlu is a remarkable player. Ferdi Kadıoğlu played this season both in the left back and right back, and he was covering all the wings. So it is a remarkable performance. So what does Ferdi Kadıoğlu's numbers are saying by Comparisonator index?
Well, Ferdi is a very versatile player. So he possibly in the last 2 to 3 seasons in Fenerbahce, he pretty much, beside the center forwards and center back, he probably played in almost all positions, mainly winger back, and this season obviously proven, and he's also been selected to Turkish national team, being playing since last year. Dribbling in the final third of the pitch, 2.98 actions per 90 minutes. He's number 1 in this parameter. Successful attacking actions, he's number 1 amongst left backs, 4.91 actions per 90 minutes. Winning balls in the opposition side, he's number 1 again with 4 actions per 90 minutes, and ground challenges 1, 8.04 actions per 90 minutes. He's number 1 again. So he's a sensational left back.
So Gokhan, Ferdi Kadıoğlu is being watched by most of European clubs, but 50 million euros is not an easy value to be paid by all the clubs. So what can you say about Ferdi Kadıoğlu's Transfermarkt value?
It's especially not easy to get this value in the Super League. Don't forget, Ferdi Kadıoğlu is a Spanish player. He's so ready to go to the top 5 leagues. Tarkan told us what is his skills, and that's right, because he don't score a lot, but he does so much more than scoring. He goes on one-on-ones, but what's really important for value is he can play in different position. You can use him such everywhere on the pitch, yeah. And that is so important for the value that you can say, yeah, this player is really extremely interesting for other clubs, and that's what Ferdi is all about. He's national. He plays in the national team. He plays a great season. Plays very adult. Yeah, he is, for me, personal, is one of the best or the best player in the Super League.
So let's get back to midfielders. So Tarkan, but we have 3 very, very important midfielders on the best 11. Salih Uçan in Beşiktaş, Sergio Oliveira in Galatasaray, and Bakasetas in Trabzonspor. And Bakasetas had a great performance, but we cannot see that performance with the other players in Trabzonspor. So it looks like we need to hear about your commentaries about these midfielders and Bakasetas.
Well, I should start with Salih Uçan. Salih Uçan very well deserved this, and he's been working hard, and he was a little disappointed not to be selected to Turkish national team. However, he's going to be still forcing that number 6 to 8 position. But Bakasetas, the Greek offensive midfielder, has been phenomenal, as he has always been. And according to Comparisonator main index, he's number 1 amongst the midfield players. He's number 1 shots on target average per 90 minutes, 1.14 shots on target. Successful passes into opposition box, he's number 1 with 3.89 balls carried to the box, average per 90 minutes. And he's possibly the smartest midfielder in the Turkish Super League. Successful key passes, 1.22 actions per 90 minutes. He's number 1 in successful key passes. He actually started the league a little bit slow, as he had a small injury in the past at the beginning of the season, but he quickly recovered from that and topped his heights in the league. So well done to Bakasetas to be in the Comparisonator Artificial Intelligent 11.
So Gokhan, Yagmur, Bakasetas has a great performance. He made a great performance last season, and this season is continuing. And Bakasetas' Transfermarkt value is 11 million euros. So do you think that can he make better than this value? Well, how can you comment about the Bakasetas Transfermarkt value?
Yeah, you know, I have to defend these value all the time by the people. Why is Bakasetas so high in this value, 11 million? What Tarkan says, he's a really smart player, really smart midfield player, and I like it. I like it a lot. And also, we heard about that Wolfsburg from the Bundesliga will give 6 million euros for him at summer. At least he has a contract for 1 year left. This is much. This is really much money. 6 million.
Look, I'm just going to ask you a simple, quick question, right?
Of course.
Because this is something that I want to understand in Transfermarkt valuation.
Yes.
So he has 1 year in his contract.
Yes.
And he receives 6 million euros.
Yes.
So how does this affect the value, total value of the player?
Like this is like economy, you know. If one player have just 1 year left from his contract and the club want to buy him, he could say, I just wait 1 year and then I get him without a fee. Or I said, I want him so badly that I give you now a fee for this time period, 1 year. And this, there's a formula in Transfermarkt. This 1 year, 1 year contract, and to get a fee for 1 year, you can take it like 2.5 times. You know, this 6 million you get 2.5 times, so it's like 15 millions.
15 millions, okay.
Yeah. So the question from Didem is, could he do better? If we look at this fee, what Wolfsburg want to give for Bakasetas, I could say, yeah, he could give a little bit more just because of this fee, what Wolfsburg would give. But the problem is now Wolfsburg wants to give, but they don't do it right now. We have to wait until summer, and then we can look if he stays at 11 or goes a little bit higher, because this fee from Wolfsburg makes his value a little bit stronger. So I don't think that he goes down with his value at summer. I think he stays or go a little bit higher. Yeah, we know he's 29, but performance and age are not just the only factors of market value. It's also how interesting is he in this business for the clubs. And if you see Wolfsburg is interested, so I think he could stay or go a little bit higher if he don't get an injury or something, you know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying about Bakasetas so far.
Thank you, Gokhan.
So we are going to continue about this topic with another name, because this is a name with a spectacular performance who played in the World Cup, and still people can ask why Ener Valencia's Transfermarkt value is 3.8 million euros. So this is for maybe the biggest question, and we're going to start with Tarkan Batgun to understand Ener Valencia's numbers and the rankings in Turkish Super League. And after that, Gokhan, you have to describe us why is Ener Valencia 3.8 million euros. So let's start with the numbers of the performance.
Well, I guess it's going to be a huge puzzle for Gokhan to explain the valuation, because I mean, by far, it has been almost 5 to 6 years with an over 30-year of age player as a winger forward, producing this much energy, producing almost record-breaking parameter value. So 1.34 goals per 90 minutes, he's number one. 3.48 shots per 90 minutes, he's number one amongst the winger forwards. Successful dribbles, 3.37 per 90 minutes, he's number one. Ground challenges won, 6.64 per 90 minutes. Well, this player actually produced a sensational display. And you probably all have seen the goal-scoring abilities within the World Cup in Qatar. Well, now Gokhan, tell us, because right now Ener Valencia is about to renew his contract. Is he going to be sold? If he's been sold, so what the value could be?
Yeah, Ener Valencia is, first of all, is a great player. He do a very lot of things for Fenerbahce. Tarkan tells us the numbers. But he's 33. We don't have to forget this. Yeah, I know. In this time, 33 is not such big, huge number of age. But for the market value, it is. Yeah, it's difficult to go up with this age, but Valencia did. Valencia goes up, I think, from 3 to 3.8. And if we look at the international other players in this age, I think he stays very good, because most of them plays in the top 5 leagues. And Valencia, we have to say it, just play in the Super League. And if you look at the UEFA ranking, we are on count 12. And yeah, as you can see, the top 5 leagues are at other level. There are some players who play not in the top 5 league, but there are players like Ronaldo play in Al Nassr.
Gokhan, I have a very small question, because this is what I was wondering. Let's say the value is 3.8, right?
Yes.
So what if Valencia goes to the Middle East and receives 30 million? What happens then with regard to Transfermarkt valuation?
So that will not happen. We know this, but I know what you mean. Particularly if he would go for 30 million to Arabic League, his value will go up. That's for sure. But Of course, not to 30 million. I would say this is just what I think now, maybe 15, maybe 18 million. Because why? There's a reason why this Arabic club take him for 30 million. They have to be a reason. Because no one would give so much money for a player who's 33 and perhaps ending his career in 2 years. Or the other one is, no one would give so much money for a player who scored so damnly good, but in the Super League. What means Super League? Which level is it? If he scored in Spain something, everyone knows, okay, he has to be a good one. But if he scored in Turkish Super League or against Qatar in the World Cup, okay, it's not a bad one, it's a good one, but he's also 33. So I would say if he goes to Arabic club, they would give mostly perhaps 5 or 6 million, not more. And if you look at his value and in his contract, 5 to 6 million is okay. It fits. But I think if you go to international, to South American, they would never pay so much. And this is what about the market value. We have to look, how can the value be for what the clubs are giving or ready to give. Well, we think 3.8 is a good value. If you ask me now, why 3.8, not 3.7 or 3.9 or 4, this is a process. You know, it's not just me. We are a few people and talking about, and so we get to a point, and this point was 3.8 after talking about it.
Thank you very much, mate.
So, Tarkan, Batgun, it's time to talk about the star. In the beginning of the season, when Mauro Icardi transferred to Galatasaray, I'm not sure what did you think about, but I'm going to ask what he did and how does Mauro Icardi's rankings are. Plus, did you think that he is a good transfer and is still in the same opinion? I'm just trying to understand what is Mauro Icardi besides numbers within your own comments.
Well, firstly, it was I felt really lucky to actually see Mauro Icardi in the Turkish Super League. Absolutely fantastic guy and very nice attitude. So he engaged with all the fans at the end of the games, grabbing the flags and putting it down. And he's very, very engaged and very passionate. So the Turkish fans absolutely love this kind of attitude. But beside the attitude, shots on target, he 2.12 actions per 90 minutes. He's number one. Total chances, he's number one. Number one in assist among the strikers, 0.44 per 90 minutes. Playing in scoring attack, 1.14 is number two. But one thing that, I mean, of course, in my eyes, right, sometimes you value a player in your own eyes. Okay, this is number one. Of course, I understand the quality of the league compared to amongst the top 5 nations in Europe. Well, 18 million looked a little bit less to me, and in my eyes, it would be roughly 25 to 30 million. But let's ask this question to Gokhan, because I personally disagreed with this. I thought he could have been valued more.
I want to ask you, Tarkan, why do you think he's 25 to 30 million? That would interest me because I have the answer, but I would listen to you and then tell you why he is on 18 and not on 25 or 30.
Well, the thing is, firstly, the performance. That's definitely performance values suggest, because I compared Mauro Icardi, all the strikers, and with the valuation. So he rates top 10 according to Comparisonator index point. So therefore, it's very valuable. Second thing, well, he's already coming from a very strong team, very strong leagues he played, and it was a national team player. Not maybe now, but he's definitely being. It's going to be considered to be putting on the field in the national team area. So these are basically my argument. Plus, I love the guy. That's big.
yeah. That's what I want to hear. That's most of this is personal. You like him. You say he could play in the national team. It's a very much could. We are talking about market values. There are facts. We just looked about facts. What is fact? I can tell you what fact is. So yeah, Mauro Icardi has very good numbers from your index, but also in the league, everyone see it. But not to forget, it's just the Super League where he scored so much. If he were so good, why doesn't stay at PSG? If he were so good, he would stay at PSG and not come to Galatasaray. So, okay, he's come to Galatasaray, so his value level have to go a little bit low. That's normal. There is a mark, the record mark from value in the Super League. It's like 20 million. Why? Yeah, one thing is the value is not just performance. That's first. And second is, can you tell me the record transfers from the Super League where we're selling? I can tell you there are just 3 or 4 players in the whole history of Super League who goes for 20 millions or over 20 millions.
When he was in Paris Saint-Germain,
yes,
was his value more than 18 million? Just out of curiosity.
Of course. I thought
what
he
was the value when he was in PSG?
I'm not sure, but I think he was 35 or something. I have to look, but I think it was 35. I'm not sure. But of course, more than now. His value goes straightly down than when he don't play at PSG and get family trouble. I think you know what I mean with his wife and so else. Then his value goes down. If he come to Galatasaray, he have a value from 22 million, I think. Then I have to look. Okay, he goes down to a league who's much from level less than Ligue 1 from France. I have to take it in his value, and so the value goes down to 70 million. 0.5. Now we go a little bit up. Why? Yes, his performance is very nice, but he is for Turkish league on a very high level. So I said just 500K, it fits, there's no problem. But important is to know.
No, give him 25.
Yeah, I understand also the Gala fans. If they say, well, we want 30, we want 25, 30. Yeah, it's a wish. Of course, you can't tell your wish, but I can do this because it's my job. And if I go with wishes and take every player to 30 or 25, we are lying at ourselves. And that's not the thing that we want. So it's important. What happened in summer with Icardi? Did he get to Galatasaray with a fee? I heard about 7, 8, 9 million by a contract from 1.5 years. That means you can take this fee, get it to double up, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And he is now on 18. So we have to wait how much fee Galatasaray will give for him. Will they buy him? That's also not safe, because what happened with Zaniolo? First, Zaniolo have to go, they get money, and then they can buy Icardi. It's not just the fee, it's also the salary that he gets. There are also important factors for the value. So we are just waiting, but I don't think by myself that he goes so much more up. I don't think that he get upper than 18, because why else? Yeah, he had a great performance now, but since 2 games he don't score, and I'm not very sure that his performance is so resistant as we saw it now. We have to wait a little bit. We will see.
Maybe I'm just asking too many questions, but this is
okay.
Curiosity. So let's say Mauro Icardi was selected again Argentinian national team and started scoring, but he's still in the Turkish Super League. So would his value increase?
Of course. This is an important factor for us. If he plays in the Argentina national team, and this is very difficult to get there in, this is a real big value for his personal, so for his person, pardon. So of course that will fit his value a little bit up. I'm not sure how many. I have to talk with my experts, but yeah, of course, this is very important for us.
Well, that would be my questions, Dido. Thank you very much.
So I'm going to ask you a question, Tarkan Batgun.
Yes.
Because I'm going to ask you, who is the best coach in Turkish Super League this season so far? I think that maybe Jorge Jesus is with a very good Fenerbahce performance, but there is a Galatasaray. So this is a very big rival. So let us know, Galatasaray with Okan Buruk or Jorge Jesus with Fenerbahce. Who is the best coach this season so far?
Well, according to Comparisonator Artificial Index 11, Okan Buruk is the #1 coach at the moment from Galatasaray in Turkey. Touches in the box, 20.5 average per match. He's #1. Successful key passes, so he's a very smart coach that his team is #1 again, 7.21. He's #1 in here. Shots on target, again, the best performance is #1, 7.96 shots on target per game. So ball recoveries after turnovers within 10 seconds is 9.5. Okan Buruk's Galatasaray is #1. Well, sensational performance. Also, Okan Buruk broke a record in Turkey. If I'm not mistaken, 14 games win in a row in the Turkish Super League, and he's also #1, and he broke the Turkish Super League record with that. Slightly up from Jorge Jesus of Fenerbahce. So that means that this rivalry will still be happening, and you never know, this might change at the end of the season. But currently, according to Comparisonator artificial index points, well, Okan Buruk of Galatasaray is #1.
So Tarkan, Batgun, I have an additional question about this parameters. I just wanted to learn what ball recoveries after turnovers within 10 seconds.
It's actually defensive parameter, but it's a defensive offensive kind of character. So that means that the team is extremely quick in response.
So, Gokhan, Galatasaray has a very good performance this season, and Okan Buruk made a very good coaching performance with this team. And what do you think about Galatasaray's transfer value with all these players, and what are your comments of Galatasaray this season so far?
Yeah, Galatasaray has the highest squad value in the Turkish Super League with 176 million. That is it's a surprise a little because this team plays not Europe Cup, any competition, just the Super League. But the transfer they do this year is just crazy. You know, who would think that Icardi or Zaniolo would ever play in the Super League at this moment? You know, if we say, okay, in 2, 3, 4 years, by Icardi, if he's 32 or 33, okay. But he's just 29. And Zaniolo, it's just crazy, is 23. Okay, we know coming reason is a little bit different than a normal transfer, but to get him is a really good commercial for the Super League in the world. And yeah, also players like Torreira and Aktürkoğlu, they have very great players in his squad. And I think this 14 wins in a row is, yeah, it's just very difficult to get these successfully serious. So yeah, I think it's earned that they are on the top, but I think it's not just over for the championship. I think it will be a tough one.
So guys, you know that the best thing about football is not to be easy to predict. But I have an opinion. So let's get back together after the season and talk about all the season for rest and understand the champions with the numbers and the values. Thank you very much for joining us in Transfermarkt YouTube channel. And we are going to be all together after the season. Thank you very much for watching.
Bye-bye.